Brought to you by Penguin. The Witchfinder's Sister by Beth Underdown. Read by Roy Mcmillan and Lucy Brownhill.
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Exodus, chapter 22, verse 18. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Matthew, chapter 10, verse 36. 1645, and the Civil War in England has begun its 4th year. It is a war about God, and how best we should worship him. It is a war about who should govern and why, whether the Parliament should rule, or whether the ousted king. It is a war of thoughts, of words printed or hurled in anger, but this is also a war of guns. Last year at Marston Moor, more than 4,000 men were killed. Before this, women have seldom been hanged for witchcraft. 1 or 2, every 5 years or 10. 8 were sentenced in Pendle 30 years ago, when the land still knew peace. But now this country is falling apart at the seams. Now, all England is looking the other way. So there is nothing to stop Matthew Hopkins stepping forward, starting to make his list of names.
Mary Starling of Langham, for murder and the keeping of imps. Elizabeth Clark of Manningtree for the killing of Richard Edwards's son. Widow, poor and lame of one leg. Elizabeth Gooding of Manningtree for the killing of Robert Taylor's horse. Widow. Sarah Hayton of Ramsey for the killing on divers occasions of the wife, children and servant of Francis Stock, Constable of Ramsey, one son of her own. Mary Johnson of Great Clacton for the killing of the child of Daniel Otley and the child of George Durrant of Fingringhoe. Widow. Rebecca Jones of St. Osyth for the killing of Thomas Bumstead and his wife. Widow, having one son. Nan Leach of Manningtree for the killing of a woman who would not give to her a bonnet made of linen. Widow, mother of Helen Leach. Helen Leach of Manningtree for sending an imp against the Parsley child. Widow. Margaret Moon of Thorpe-le-Soken for the killing of the wife and child of Henry Cornwall and for causing Philip Daniel's horse to break its neck while pulling a cart downhill. Amended. This one not hung but did collapse and die on her way to the scaffold.
Chapter 1. The 5th day of Christmas, this year of our Lord 1645. Once, I scarcely believed in the devil. I scorned the kind of folk who earnestly think he can put on physical form, like a coat, whether that form be like a cat or a dog, or some warped combining of the two. Those who have it that the devil can enter a person in such a manner that he can be deftly taken out again, like a stone from a plum. I scorn those who believe such things. I lived in London once. I can remember how to sneer. But I am not in London any more. 9 months ago, I had cause to come back to my own strange corner of Essex. And since I did, things have happened that make it harder to say what I do and do not believe. My coming home at the end of March, those first few days are still sharp in my mind. Each day, each of those first hours is preserved like an etching, separate and clear. But the later days, those later weeks as matters progressed, they are already starting to become somewhat bleached, somewhat blurred, like faces seen from a cart as it gathers up downhill speed. Now it is Christmas-tide. I know it is, for I have been notching.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?